Hey everyone, welcome back to Geekstrong. In today's video, it's room tour part 5. So far I've shown you all of this, part 1, part 2, part 3, and 4. In today's video right here, all of that, part 5. So what do you say? Let's do this! So as we go from video 3 and 4, we'll move up here, and these are some of the ships that I had in video number 4 that I placed there. And then we come over to Lord of the Rings, and this is Sting, and this lights up and makes a lot of cool sounds. The battery unfortunately doesn't work right now, and also I have the One Ring there too, so I do like that. That's a pretty cool setup. Okay, let's go over to my Gremlins display. And this is Stripe, 1984 I believe, and my sister got me that for Christmas one year. Gremlins Rub and Play Transfer. There's a stuffed Gizmo, a Gizmo that is sound activating. He sings. I'm sure everyone's seen that at Walmart and probably interrupt some of our own toy hunts. Here's some little figurines of Mogwais. There's a Stripe Mogwai Gizmo, a larger Gizmo. There's a Gremlin Stripe and a Bendy Stripe back there. This is the Electricity Gremlin. And this is Greta. And there's Flasher. My son got me that for Christmas one year. So that's my Gremlins display. Love these guys. Move over to Jaws. Now Jaws is definitely within my top 10 movies of all time. Absolutely love Jaws. And this is the Reaction Jaws. Pretty cool. And Reaction Quint. Now Quint unfortunately came off the card, but we do have Chief Brody and Hooper. Here is McFarlane's Jaws set. My brother got me years ago. I love this set. It's awesome. And there's Quint from NECA and 2 versions of Hooper. Hooper Shark Cage version. That's awesome. And Hooper Amity Arrival. Really cool. Comes with the Crush styrofoam cups. Here's my NECA Alien figures. Ash, Alien, Ripley in compression suit, Kane, and this Kane is awesome. Lambert. Here is a Comic-Con Mini-Mates Alien figure. Now this is supposed to be like a little replica of the 1979 Kenner Alien doll. And this is an Alien model that I showed in one of my other videos real quick, but let's open it up and check it out. So this is the Alien model, and as I said in a previous video, I wanted the Kenner Alien. Instead I got a model. Now this is the reproduction. This is the NPC version, and I don't know if it was NPC back in the day. Probably was. So he stands over 9 inches tall. Pretty cool he is. It's basically the same thing as the 18-inch version, I think, you know? But it's just a small little model, 9 inches tall, and not 18 inches. And I believe all of these Alien are actually McFarlane and not NECA. So this Alien comes with a egg and a face hugger in there. We have the dog Alien, the Queen, and then the Queen has a base, and on the base is this victim from the movie. Remember her from Aliens? So you push the lever in the back and a chest buster alien comes out. How cool is that? Okay, we'll go over here. A couple Mega Construx Predator figures. Vintage MASH action figure. Sloth, Reaction Comic-Con. Big Trouble in Little China. We'll come up here and we have Reaction Alien figures. So there's Ash, Ripley, Dallas, Kane, and Alien, and there's Kane with the chest buster. Okay, let's walk all the way back over here. We're gonna go right underneath the Gremlins, and here we have Charlie's Angels vintage dolls, including sticker cards. Right here is an autograph from Steve from the Toy Shack in Vegas. And right here is my custom Greatest American Hero doll. So if you haven't checked out that video, check it out. Here's some vintage. What are these from? If you know what these guys are from, raise your hand. That's right, welcome back, Carter. So we have Epstein, Horshack, Vinnie Barbarino, Gabe Carter, and I am missing Washington, so I do need him to finish the set. And they also sold a Classroom, which is pretty awesome. This is a Mego Fonzie doll, and this guy has some pretty cool features. You want to check them out? And what's cool about this Mego doll is you can't have a Fonz without the thumbs flipping up. So these actually move. Look at how cool that is. I mean, they could have just had it so it was always like this, but no, they went through the effort and made his thumbs movable. And there's a lever in the back too, where you can make his arms move up, where he goes, hey.
Chart showing how your mouth is formed when you make certain sounds.
Oh yeah? I think I know her. Hey!
Mego Poncho from Chips, and I don't know why his face turns that color. A lot of them turn like, he looks like a zombie. But here we have some Mego Planet of the Apes, and those are pretty cool. I love those. We had everything in Mego Planet of the Apes back in the 70s. These are the new Mego dolls. So we have Toxic Avenger, Exorcist, Willy Wonka, and Teen Wolf. Come down here, we have Duff's from Simpsons. That's a soda can. We have Scooby-Doo and Shaggy, and this is from the live action movie, those guys. We have some vintage California raisins. And these are Army Ants. We know Blue Sasquatch loves his Army Ants. We have some push pins that I need to put away. I got this guy because he reminded me of a Hobbit, but I believe it's from Bravestar. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is actually a doll, a little figure from Teddy Ruxpin. And then that is a Skylander. He was one of my favorite Skylanders when I used to play with my son, back when Skylanders were a thing. These are my vintage Conehead dolls from the movie. This is a new Orko doll that you can get at a dollar store. Let's move over here. We have some vintage. Now, do you know what that's from? These are little figurines. So we have Julie, Gopher, Isaac, and there is Doc. There is Vicky and the Captain. Pretty cool. We have a Snork, Munchie. These are Captain Crunch cereal box toys. Those are the Soggies. They glow in the dark. Who remembers the Soggies? Don't want the Soggies in your cereal, do you?
Captain Crunch's Spongy cereal. Hot Phoenix.
Crunch powers. No, not the crunch power.
Vintage Mego dolls. We have the Thing, Spider-Man, Neptunian from Star Trek, and he's pretty hard to get. I love that. I actually had that as a kid. These aren't mine, but we had all these as kids. But Neptunian was definitely my favorite back in the day, and so I had to get him back in my collection. We have Spock, Kirk, and Bones. Here's some Smurf figures. Now, in 7th grade, I loved the Smurfs. I don't know why, but I used to love them. I used to go to like the pharmacy in downtown and used to buy them. Remember, they used to sell these at pharmacies and stuff. And I actually used to buy some from a kid at school. Used to meet in the hallways. Hey man, you got the Smurfs? Yeah, I got the Smurfs, man. Awesome. And this right here is actually my vintage one. I actually took off the came with a Comet display, but it doesn't look cool holding a Comet flying. Kind of wish I didn't do it because he would look cool now, but back then I didn't like it. And here we have some lifting figures, right? So we have Goofy and some stuff. And these are dinosaur figures. I believe these are from like McDonald's or Burger King. And these are Dino the Dinosaur figures. And the one in the back is from the live action movie. And the bottom one, I believe, came in a cereal box. And these are the Remco McDonald figures. So how cool are these? I remember getting these back in the 70s. I think this is 1976. We used to go to, I think we actually got them at McDonald's. And this tree right here came with the train set. And guess what? I have the train set. You want to check it out? This is Officer Mac. And these figures have a lever on the back where you move it and it moves their head back and forth. Their arms move up and down and their legs move too. And it's kind of rubbery a little bit, his legs. Now check out just trying to show you how they're made. This is pretty cool, huh? They get like a little lever on the back. Yeah, pretty neat. Pull up your pants, buddy. But yeah, pretty cool. I love it. And my favorite, Grimace. Do you know what Grimace actually is? Let me know in the comments before I tell you. At least from what I've heard. He's actually a taste bud. Do you believe it? So here is Ronald McDonald, and he's got a lever on the back. Look at that. So his head moves around with the lever. And there's some stilts here, so you can have him walk on stilts. What do you think of that? Pretty cool. Okay, here's the train set. Now I do have a few extra tracks here. I have 2 locomotives here. And as you can see, like where the smokestack is, see how that's yellow? And that one's red? So they made a couple of versions of it. And you would crank this and it'll spin around the track. Doesn't work the greatest, but it's still kind of cool. And your figures fit right inside the cars and stuff. And this one has a little horn on top. And I have an extra one and it's missing the horn. But I do have extra pieces, like I have 2 trees, one's broken a bit. But it's pretty cool to have, and I'll show you a picture of what it looks like complete. But how cool is that? And it comes with a table with a hamburger and a drink. And a swing set. Yeehaw! Do you remember this tree guy? He was in some of the commercials. Kind of creepy, huh? But cool. A fun little feature over here, where if you turn this, it raises the track so it'll stop the train. What's cool about this train is it does have a brake on it. So underneath here, so when you crank it, it won't just automatically go until you push this button. And go. I think if you take these off, because it's so old, maybe it'll go better. There we go. Woo! I even have the card back for one of the figures. Check that out. A little beat up, but check out the back. There's all the figures you can get, and I have them all. And look at the train set. There it is. Okay, let's go all the way back over here. We'll start at this end. So this is a 2000 Funko bobblehead of Popeye. Popeye, when I was a kid, he was obviously, I mean, I love bodybuilding now, but I love Popeye. I love the strength. I love eating spinach. I actually used to eat spinach straight out of the can. But here is my 1972 Popeye piggy bank. And this was mine as a kid. So this is, I think, like the oldest toy that I own. My daughter bought me that Popeye record back there, as well as she gave me a Popeye pen. And I think this is another Popeye pen too, right? Is that a Popeye? Yeah. How cool is that? And here we have Roger Rabbit. Those are mine too as a kid. And there is an old Mickey Mouse little figurine. Stranger Things, little blind bag TV. Now this Bugs Bunny. Now when I was, I think, in like 2nd grade, the teacher came to school and she had a box full of toys, and she let the kids choose a toy out of the box one by one. So she would call up your name and you'd go up and pick out the toy. But before that, we could go and look in it, and I saw that in it. And man, waiting for my turn, hoping that nobody else picked that toy. And sure enough, nobody picked it, and I grabbed it. Right back here, those are my first driver's license pictures of me I kept. And there's little me as a baby, 1969. Look at that Dunkin' Donuts guy. So this is a frog from the early 70s. And this is from like a 25-cent machine. Now this isn't the exact frog I owned, because the frog I owned definitely didn't last very long, because I was playing with him on the conveyor belt at the store, and his legs got caught at the end of the machine, and when I pulled him out, it ripped his legs off. I was devastated, and I didn't own the frog very long, but I remember him, and I had to get him back in my collection, so there he is. I love that frog. Sigmund Sea Monster. And let's see, oops, dropping everything over here. Isn't that, you know, that's like if you own toys, you know you're bound to knock them down like dominoes, man. It happens at a daily basis. I hate it. But yeah, so here we have a Beatles book, Yellow Submarine. We have Disney dinosaurs, all of them there. I don't think they're all complete, but I actually just recently grabbed those at a local store. Purchased them, which is pretty cool. Thundercats, little Hot Wheels car. And here's my Thundercats collection. All the vintage. This is, I think, the Mattel version of Panthro, which Panthro is my favorite out of all the Thundercats, including that guy, was that Sloth, I believe his name was. I love that guy. And this is the Super 7 version of Mumra, the Mummy. I love that. So those are all Thundercats. Now this is actually everything here is mine. So when I say mine, I mean as when I was a little kid. But this is, well, a teenager. But this is my RoboCop. He's complete. He's got his gun there. And also the, oh man, what's the name of that thing? But the other robot next to him. And that was mine too as a kid. And these are like snap guns too. You know, you put little caps inside of them and you push a lever and it's, you know, make all the popping sound. And there's a new modern RoboCop back there. It's pretty cool. I love that one, RoboCop 2. And here's my alien figure collection. Some of these were mine as a kid or a teenager. And those are mine. Ripley, Beetlejuice is mine. There's the Toony Terror Beetlejuice and a bunch of other different versions of the alien. I think that's the bull alien, right? But pretty cool. Crash Test Dummy. You guys remember those? It's pretty cool. I love this little Beetlejuice too. I think he came with the graveyard or something like that. But that's pretty cool. And Swamp Thing. Who doesn't love the Swamp Thing? Those are pretty awesome. Including the new one from McFarlane's Swamp Thing. And Freakies, there they are. Now, I had these. These were like magnets. These are actually cut out print. I printed those out and cut them out and put them on the wall. But I would love to own all the magnets because I had them all as a kid. Oh yeah, look at that. There's a Garbage Pail Kid. Brett Sweat. Blockbuster card. Yeah, who remembers Blockbuster? Right back here is a Toys R Us reward card. Bring back Toys R Us, please. Here is Now Showing. Now this was a toy line. They had a few different ones, but this is the Toxic Avenger. They sold these at like Suncoast Videos. Remember Suncoast Video? Here we have the Toxic Crusaders. Love these guys. These were mine as a kid. And these are, I think this is from the 70s. This is paint by numbers. But this was mine as a kid. I painted that. How cool is that? And then the Darth Vader 1980. So I'm not sure if that was 80, but it was late 70s, 80, because that's the Empire Strikes Back, paint by numbers Darth Vader. How cool is that? How cool is that? I always say that. It's like my catchphrase or something. How cool is that? But we move over to the end of the wall here, and this is actually my bodybuilding photos. So I posed on stage with Michael Hearn. That's me in the left with the Freddy Krueger hat. So how cool is that? Michael Hearn is actually a pro bodybuilder and an actor. He was actually an American Gladiator also. And there's me on stage with him, getting my hammer, Thor hammer. And I knew he was going to be there, so I actually brought an American Gladiators set with the box. They never made the figure of him, but I brought this and I had him sign it. Look at that. Titan. So that was his character name on American Gladiators, Titan. So he was pretty excited that I brought that. He thought it was pretty cool. And my daughter got me, my wife, not my daughter, my wife got me that, the Perfect Man. It's like a chocolate. Don't ask me why. But Mork for Mork. I love that. That's one of my favorite toys right there with the egg. We have a couple of cards from Harry Potter. I got those in Disney. Golden Girls finger puppets. And I think everybody has a Zorro in their collection. Raise your hand if you have Zorro in your collection. I knew it. Here we have a Garbage Pail Savage Randy. Right there. Pretty cool. We have a couple of vintage wrestling figures. Sting. And I can't remember that guy's name, but he's pretty cool. The mask guy. One of my favorite characters in comic book history is The Tick. I love The Tick. I actually own a few of the original comics. There is Tales from the Crypt Keeper, a couple other little minifigs of wrestling guys. There is my only Inhumanoid figure that I own right now. I had them all, just about all of them. I had the tree, I had all the large ones, but I sold them all through the years. Very depressing. And look at that weight belt I have. That's like a keychain. And nunchucks there too, because I used to love karate. Ninjas back in the day, ninjas. So we have right here, those are Supernaturals. And we have Beavis and Butthead. That is Police Academy. This is a ninja guy. I can't remember what that was from, but this was mine as a kid, that ninja with the sword in his head. Do you guys remember that? It was like a goofy line of toys, but how cool is that? I'll pull him up, because you got to see this guy. Probably knock over everything as I'm doing it, but yeah, look at this. Love that. You remember these? There was probably like 4 different ones, but let's see if you can see the back, see if it'll focus. And then this dinosaur, I can't remember what that's from. I actually just recently got that. Let me know if you know what that's from. They made a bunch of different ones. We have Independence Day, Alien in the jar. Here we have a Big Trouble in Little China figure right there. These guys are from Rambo. I have a few of those, huh? I don't know all their names. I can't remember their names, but a couple of Elf cards. There's a couple of Karate Guys in the back there. I can't remember what line that's from. I know it's super awesome.
Hey, all you awesome people. I'm John.
Awesome and Vintage Toy Rush. Those guys know what those are. We have a Little People Karate Guy back there. This is my Bruce Lee figure from back in the day. We do have Daniel LaRusso, and this is a Chuck Norris figure too. Right over here we have the A-Team figures. I am missing Murdoch, so if anybody has a Murdoch, let me know. This is another Bruce Lee figure that I had as a kid. And these models that we used to have in the 70s. That Dracula, it's a glow in the dark, but this is actually a reproduction version of it. But I have a few different ones of those, but those are awesome. And one of my favorite lines from back in the day, I think like after Star Wars, I stopped collecting Star Wars more so. But these are the Remco Universal Monsters. So we have the Creature from the Black Lagoon, Dracula, Frankenstein, the Mummy, the Wolfman is awesome, and the Phantom of the Opera, and that Creature from the Black Lagoon at the end is a glow-in-the-dark version. And that's a Super 7 in the back. It's kind of like the neon colors. And there is your 2 NECA Universal Monsters, Frankenstein, and the Wolfman. And that's the playset. I'll pull out the playset and you can check it out. That thing's pretty cool. But yeah, I love the Universal Monsters. Okay, some of the older figures here. Now these are from the 70s. The Universal Monsters in the front. And these are pretty beat up, but these are AHI versions of the Universal Monsters. And I think around the same time, the ones in the back are the Mego versions. Those are reproduction ones in the back, in the middle row of the Mego versions. but it's the exact same figure. They're just newer versions of the older 70s versions. But yeah, do you guys remember the AHI ones? I love those. Frankenstein, look at his pants. They're all like deteriorating. And Dracula's nose has been chewed off by some kid. And these are the Remco Universal Monsters with the glow-in-the-dark and squeezy arms. You push the lever and the little thing in the back, and it makes your arm squeeze. So yeah, Universal Monsters back in the day, I loved all those guys. How cool is that? Again, see, I said it again. How cool is that? And this is a newer version of the Mego Creature from the Black Lagoon, which is totally awesome. In the black and white version. And then this is the Bendy Fig. It kind of looks like Monster Squad. Right? Looks like Monster Squad. And then this is the glow-in-the-dark version. Exclusive. And this is the... who put these out? This is not... Let me see in the back. I forget who put these out. Jada Toys, that's right. Jada Toys put this out. So this is pretty cool. They had two different versions. One that's not glow in the dark, but... And then this is the glow in the dark mummy, as I talked about the Dracula over there. Pretty cool. And I have a few others, and I'll show you those right now. Here is an MPC 8-man model. Pretty cool. The werewolf. And this is a model that I painted. It's a reproduction of the original mummy model from Aurora, I believe it's called. But I think this might even still be in Aurora. I'm not... Did they even change company names? But again, that's a not a vintage from the 70s. This is more, I think, early 90s. But pretty cool. I think I did a decent paint job, don't you? And then this is, again, another reproduction model of... They had these models called Gigantics. And they were different ones. They had a tarantula, which is right back here. Praying mantis. A scorpion, and a few others that I'll show you. Gigantic. And here is the newer version of the AMT Gigantics Tarantula. This one is a reproduction of the original, but we had these as a kid. I remember building those in the 70s. But guess what? This is an original tarantula model from the 70s, unbuilt. That is insane. Now, I bought that on eBay because there was a lot where I bought this and a few other ones that were the new reproduction ones, and this was with it. So I got all that. I don't know, I probably paid like $60 for all of it, and I think that's a great deal. And this is Creepy People. And this is the instructions for the Thing Maker, Creepy People. And these are the Creepy People. So I made these, and this is actually from the 70s, but I made these a few years back. But I do have the original mold to make these, and it's kind of like creepy crawlers. Same thing. Thing Maker is basically creepy crawlers. It's like an easy bake oven for kids where you would make little figures and stuff. And the body's a pencil. You make the feet and all that stuff. And you can make a dragon. There's another casting for dragons and stuff like that. And these are little rubbery people and dragons and stuff. Kind of cool. And there's another guy right here, hiding over in the corner. Look at that. Yeah. And this is the creepy crawler that I have. A bunch of the casting stuff. And then these are the creepy people. So you pour the mold in here, you put it in the oven right here. You wait a few minutes and it comes out, let it cool down, and you can make all these stuff, all these creepy things. You can make a shrunken head. This is another one. This is from the Thing Maker. You can make a skeleton, a bunch of stuff. So I was pretty much, when my son was little, we made a lot of these things. But yeah, so I still have a lot of the stuff here. Pretty cool, huh? We'll move over here, and here we have, because of Super Awesome Geek Show was showing his Skeleton Warriors, I forgot all about these, and I had to get this guy, and I had this guy back in the day, in the 80s. But this guy is so cool. So this is my only skeleton warrior, and he's gonna stay on the card. Now this is actually, I'll show you board games on another video, but this is from a board game, and this is called the Slime Monster game, which is right there. Slime Monster game. And this is the monster that was in the game, and you put slime in there and he drips all over the place. This is a Jaws stuffed animal, and you push this button right here and he plays the Jaws theme, but the batteries never last in those things. And this right here is Count Creepy Head.
It's the Play-Doh Count Creepy Head and Friends playset.
Now this is a Play-Doh set. You put Play-Doh in there and you could make like the Mummy and some other ones. You have the Wolfman, I think Dracula's in there. So yeah, you push his arms down and it fills up with Play-Doh, and you can make some of the Universal monsters. Pretty cool. Over here is my custom Mario with Han Solo's body. We have Brute Strong right there. That's my Dungeons and Dragons character that I created from a Super Awesome Geek Show and Salacious Rum. They set up a Dungeons and Dragons live stream. There is my Points of Articulation. That's my Garbage Pail Kid challenge. And this is Jump the Shark. So do you know on Happy Days when Arthur Fonzarelli jumped the shark?
There he goes!
The show was doing really well. And then as soon as the Fonz jumped a shark, the show like tanked. Nobody, I think it got canceled shortly after. But so that's Jump the Shark. So I made that. I made the leather jacket. I made the hair and all that. So this shark is actually from the Suicide Squad. Do you know what this is from? That is It. So this is the creature from It, Stephen King's It. This is a Viewmaster, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I do need a Viewmaster. I don't even have a Viewmaster. And I'll show you a few other little things here. So this is, I had this as a kid. Now this isn't my kid one, but I love this thing. This is one of my favorite items here. And this is the Close Encounters of the Third Kind Bendy figure. So do you remember those? Did anybody have that? Do you know what this is? This is a Michael Jackson Graveyard Gang figure. So this is, they made a few different ones, but this was mine as a kid too. And this is Michael Jackson's Graveyard Gang. How cool is that? How cool is that? So we'll end it with that. How cool is that? Have I showed you that E.T. costume from the 80s? Love that thing. But anyway, so part 5's all done. Part 6 is going to be some more toys and Nintendo and some other stuff. I got Batman figures and a bunch of other stuff still to show you. So I hope you're enjoying the videos. If you do, please leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Maybe I can change things around. Maybe I'm rambling on too much. You guys say enough with that nonsense. We just want to see the toys. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, do all that good stuff. And remember, we are all Geek Strong. Take care, everyone. Here we have, right back here, look at that guy. He's just hiding over there. This is from Big Trouble in Little China. So, whoa! Son of a... And this guy back here with the little hair there, and it's a little rubbery with, it's actually a pencil body. Oh, shoot.